Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fireside chat with the House of Steel. I am Master SteeleToe the Bootblack, the head of the House of Steel, and it's wonderful to have you back. You may notice that the background is a little bit different. We're trying out a new platform for the fireside chat, one that allows us to have guests who are not sitting with me in the living room by the fireplace. Sadly, that means that we aren't able to have the dogs intruding, but they are here with me in my home office. So welcome. You also may have noticed that Carl Onyx is not sitting next to me. Um, we have a new co-host for the Dynamics of Dynamics series, and that is my protege Reece Diamond. And we will talk to him a little bit more shortly and get to know him a little bit today. But I do want to say that Carl and I are launching a new series called Can We Talk? And I will be giving some dates for that a little bit later. We are very excited about that. And in that, we are going to talk about we're going to have casual conversations about all things life and leather. So I think that'll be something that you'll enjoy, and we will certainly enjoy bringing it to you. And so for now, we are here with Reece Diamond. Today's broadcast is being produced by my alpha boy Ogun, who is joining us from his beautiful estate in Atlanta. Hello, Boy Ogun. And we appreciate all the work that he's done. Just to give some kudos to Boy Ogun does all of our marketing and PR work. He is also the person who manages all of our social media sites. So when you see a beautiful background like this one that we're using today, or an event posted or something posted on Instagram, it is Boy Ogun who makes all of that stuff work with excellence. So thank you, Boy Ogun. Love you very much. Um, and so before we get started today, I'm going to do something I rarely do, and that is to share my personal opinion on something that is going on in the world. As many of you know, if you watch my Facebook page, I don't engage in conversations about personalities or about actions generally. Um, but this is important. And so I want to take a moment and talk about the importance of voting in the election that's coming up. And the election is a little more than a week away. And generally, I feel like people have a right to make whatever, well, I still feel that people have the right to make whatever decision they want to make that they feel is best for them. But this election is a little bit different. In this election, we are not only making a choice between the Democratic candidate and the Republican candidate, we are literally making a choice between whether or not we are going to allow Donald Trump and the and his dangerous agenda for the country to take office again. It
Right.
is not only important that Donald Trump lose, it is important that he lose with a margin of victory that is so strong that no one in his camp will be able to contest it. Because Republicans are already setting up the stage, filing frivolous lawsuits that thankfully they're losing, and more and more setting stages to contest elections, contest votes. Marjorie Taylor Greene is already slandering Dominion voting systems. And anyone who is still thinking about who to vote for, um, it baffles my mind that you can think that. I'm going to say in this election, even if you don't love the Democratic candidate, our current vice president, we need, as many conservative Republicans are doing, to make the decision to vote for the person who is going to protect our democracy. Because we don't only need to defeat Trump, we need to defeat all of his sycophants in the downstream races. So, Ted Cruz in Texas, DeSantis in Florida. We need governors to that support him out of office. We need Congress people, senators, who would support him out of office, because what they do is repeat the lies and continue to incite the violence that innocent communities like that in Springfield, those Haitian American citizens going to work every day, contributing to society, having to deal with death threats, having to deal with Proud Boys marching through their streets, bomb threats to schools, and all of this because of the rhetoric that Trump spouts and then his maggots amplify. Speaker Mike Johnson does it. We all know that Trump, if we look at Project 2025, he is not just a misogynist and a sexual predator. He is also trying to oppress women's rights to health care. And if you think that women shouldn't be allowed, if you're pro-choice, you feel like women shouldn't be allowed to have fun, get pregnant, and get rid of their kids, this is bigger. This is women who are raped. This is women who have medical conditions that who are in a medical condition that the pregnancy would endanger their life and the fetus's life, and doctors not being able to make their decision. Pay attention to the fact that in Texas, they filed suit for the government in Texas to have access to pregnant patient records, so they can track to see if they receive care out of state and then prosecute them. They want to prosecute doctors for saving lives of women who are endangered by their pregnancy. This is crazy. We know he's racist. We know he's homophobic. We know he's transphobic. If you are a person of color, he's coming for you. He's talked about your community and your country. And we need to do everything that we can to ensure that this fascist who constantly praises the world's most vile humans, like Hitler, who constantly gives credit to terrorists, who is friends in his head with Vladimir Putin, and would support Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we cannot allow him to be in office. So no matter how you feel about decisions that Kamala Harris made when she was the Attorney General in California, or what the Biden administration is doing to handle conflicts around the globe, remember that not voting or voting independent helps Trump. It helps him to regain power that he will use to absolutely inflict damage on anyone he doesn't like. And just so you know, he only likes cis, hetero, rich, white men. If you're not that, he does not like you. You are beneath him in his mind. So thank you for bearing with me for that. Please, please, please vote.
Please.
And vote for Harris. I'm going to say it plainly. With that being said, I will get off my high horse. It is very comfortable up here, but I don't often jump up there. So I am going to introduce my new co-host. To those of you who don't know, you have seen him here on the House of Steel Facebook page when we did the fireside chat about people with disabilities. And he's back here today. And we are going to learn a little bit today and have some fun with Reece Diamond. How are you, Reece?
Peace, sir. Peace, Facebook. Peace, Internet. Peace, Instagram, and all the other stuff I don't know how to name. Hello, hello. My name is Reece Diamond. It's a pleasure to be here. Today is great. I'm in a great mood. Looking forward to a great chat.
Excellent. Thank you, Reece. And for those of you who don't know, Reece lives in Western New York in Rochester. And he's one of the founding members of the House of Steel. And he is also my Onyx New York Northeast brother. And so I've had the privilege of knowing Reece for a while now, probably I mean, it's almost 5 years now, right?
Just about, yes, sir.
Yeah. And got to know him through some of the work that he was doing in Western New York. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But before we do that, we're going to jump into one of my favorite segments. And I guess that's really not fair to say because we've only done it once, but I enjoy it. It is a great way to get to know somebody. It is speed dating with Reece Diamond. So those of you who know Reece and have always been like, oh, I'd like to get to know him better. That's a hottie. Oh my God, he's so tall. And just so you all know, he's the one who makes me look short in pictures. I'm taller than everyone else in the house. Well, me and Forge are the same. But he makes me, oh no, Vice is taller than me. But he doesn't make me look short. You make me look short. So if you've been interested in Reece and you want to get to know him a little better, here's some ammunition that you can put in your pocket.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be great. So we're going to start with some general questions, take about 30 seconds to answer each question. And then as a bonus, we're going to go into a lightning round of questions where you have to give us the first answer that pops in your head. And I promise, because I am a pure person who's never been sadistic, none of these questions will be uncomfortable.
Right.
Okay. So we are going to jump into, wait, I just saw a comment from Call who said, don't forget to mention Project 2025. And I think I did, but if I didn't, Google it. It can't be said enough. Thank you, Cole. So first question. And I asked you this question in a family meeting and you gave the answer. I'm going to tell you, you cannot give that answer because that is not a horror film. Okay. But it is Halloween season. What is your favorite horror film? And just so you know, I did see the movie that you mentioned. I watched it with you, and it's amazing.
Yes.
It's not horror.
Yes. Okay. Right. That's more psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller kind of thing, but amazing movie. If you want to just tell the movie, I mean.
Yes. So we're talking about the Belko experiment. It's definitely. I can't use the word I want to use because I don't want to get banned on here, but it's a mind trip for sure. Definitely a great movie. But for those of you who do know me, you know I am a horror buff. So if you're ever down to watch something creepy, scary, guts, gore in any way, shape, or form, Reece is your guy. I'm here for it all the time. But classic horror of all time, Reece's favorite is Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's a classic. It goes down in history as one of the best horror films, in my opinion, ever. It's seductive. It's romantic. It has its scare-esque moments, but it's really just a well-done film. So that's my favorite.
All right. And mine is also a classic, The Omen. Doesn't get better than this.
Definitely a classic.
Satan's son, the Antichrist. I mean, the soundtrack alone is amazing. I see in the comments that Peg said Freddy Krueger is their favorite, and you know, Nightmare on Elm Street is a classic. The first one actually very scary for people who get scared. I am also a horror person. I watch horror movies for laughs.
Right.
But the other movies, the sequels, hilarious.
Oh yeah, Freddy Krueger is a comedian. He is hilarious.
They should do a reboot. It is absolutely great.
Absolutely.
Okay, second question. Choose your favorite. Albaline, Baderbaum, or Bengay?
I'm answering this, not you, so I can already X the Bengay out.
The questions were submitted by the members of the House of Steel. So first, before you come for the teal.
So don't even worry about the Bengay. That's not the vibe for me. However, if I had to choose between Albaline and Baderbaum, And Bader Balm, if you're on here and you want to sponsor a brother, I will absolutely take it. The answer is you, friend. Bader Balm is my favorite. It is wonderful. I know you hate it. I know. I'm so sorry. But
No,
for me in my house, Bader Balm.
All right. And hello, Alyssa. You know, it's a cuddle puddle with Daisy and the boys and Sarasha and some horror films are always in order. So you just named the time. Number 3, candy corn. Yes or no?
No.
That is correct. Next question. Fuck, marry, kill. The Wayans edition. So it's Marlon, Sean, and Damon Jr.
Okay. Fuck Sean, marry Damon, kill Marlon Jr.
No, it's Damon Jr.
Damon
and
Jr.
Marlon.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So Damon Jr. still gets the axe. The Junior gets the axe. I want your daddy in them. I want them. Marlon he just seems so fun. So he's somebody I would want to be around, whether we, doing stuff or not. Like he seems like he'd be a real good time. So yeah.
To me, low key, every year he's alive, he gets sexier. I think Marlon is the sexiest of the current Wayans. But I will say, I have always been a Keenan fan. And I like a seasoned man. So if Keenan is around, we might have an affair.
That's fair.
Okay, so next question. Reece, how tall are you?
6'3".
6'3". Very good. Someone at a bar finds you attractive and wants to send you a drink. What drink should they send?
So, twofold answer. I would want you to ask the bartender what I was drinking and reorder that. But if you just had to pick a drink, because of who I am, a Long Island always works. Okay. It'll give me enough liquor to continue to break this ice. And it has all the favorite liquors that I enjoy. So it's a win-win.
Okay. Very good. Very good. You can pick one of the X-Men for a kink scene. Who would you choose? What kink would you do? And would you be the top or the bottom?
I would choose Storm for Electro.
So you'd be the bottom because you're not going to generate enough current for a weather witch.
Because I only could imagine with her abilities, just with the Electro plus some kind of like cold and heat and like all simultaneously together. Yeah, that sounds like it would be fantastic.
I would have a physical reaction in my nethers just seeing her eyes turn white. I would be so stimulated. This isn't about me. As a dom, based on your skills, your knowledge, and your interests, which of the boys in the House of Steel would be best suited for you in a dynamic? And why?
Ooh. Based solely on kink, I would say Boy Vice. Boy Vice and I both flag light pink. Mm-hmm. So that is my primary love, which is toy play, anal play, for those who are unfamiliar. That is my primary joy. I also thoroughly enjoy Electro, which Boy Vice does as well. Mm-hmm. Sensory deprivation, light bondage, all things I know for sure Boy Vice would be with. So yes. To answer that question just off the answer of the question alone, I won't go into my segues and my tangents. It would be Boy Vice.
Okay, and good answer. And I mean, it wasn't asking who was your favorite because we know who that would be. What was your dream costume as a child, and did you get to wear it?
Yes and no. So I always wanted to be a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That I thought vampires were the coolest. And so I wanted to be a vampire, but I also come from a very staunch Christian background where, you wasn't dressing as a vampire at the Hallelujah night. So most years I didn't get the costume, but thank God for Aunt Priscilla's, who would let you go to her house to hang out with her as she passes out candy, and just so happens to have an extra vampire outfit in her back seat, for her favorite nephew. So most years, unfortunately, I didn't get to be my favorite, but when it counted, thank God for aunts. They looked out.
Shout out to Aunt Priscilla.
Yes,
who
shout out.
was wonderful when we met. Just the most wonderful person.
And she loves you to pieces. She asks about the family all the time.
Tell her hello. We love her. Okay, so you are going down the escalator into the crowded lobby at MAL. As usual, everyone is watching the people coming down the escalator. While getting off, you trip and fall dramatically in front of hundreds of leather folk. Do you get up quickly and scurry away, or do you stay there and strike a pose?
Ta-da! Mm-hmm. There's no other response. Now, unless I've had some liquor, because then I would want to just be dramatic and roll the floor a couple times, be like, "Oh God!" But if I was sober, I'll definitely strike a pose and hit it with the ta-da. No, someone help me to my room because my back hurts. Like, yeah.
It's like, I need mouth to crotch.
Guaranteed.
Okay, so what song best gets you in the mood for kink play?
Can I cuss on here?
Use the letter initial.
Y'all never let me have any.
We are broadcasting to the house YouTube page and on Facebook.
That's why you ask. See, because we with the people, and I don't want no problems with the people. We like you, internet. We want to stay on here a long time.
A very long time. Hi, Mark Zuckerberg.
Plies has a song, and it's I feel like effing. And it's like I'm just in one of those moods. I feel like, and it's just so raunch. I'm like, yep, this gets me exactly where I need to be. You can put on anything, Plies, Kevin Gates, any kind of this unnecessarily mannish music. Perfect.
Do you like Tank? I
do like Tank to a degree. He can be in the mix, but to start out, give me the mannish energy. I want
Sex, Love, and Pain 1 and 2, and When We
hits every time. Yes, sir.
When We hits every time.
Yes, indeed.
I'm gonna have to check out Plies. You played that song for me once though, and it was great. Yeah, that song was great.
It's on the playlist.
Name a trait that instantly attracts you to somebody or gets your attention. And it could be a physical trait, a mental trait, an emotional trait. But name a trait that once you see someone has it, you're instantly focused.
I don't know how to put it into words. Like pure cutesy affection. Like when someone just naturally just sweet. Where like I don't know how to put it into words. Where you're around someone and you smile because they're just smiling, like they're just a sweet spirit to be around. Like that's alluring to me. Someone who just genuinely sweet.
Shout out to Ironheart. because that is you, 100%.
Shout out to Ironheart. Definitely shout out to Switchblade.
That sadistic pup.
He's a sweetie to me. That like he yields to me at least. It's adorable.
Oh, no.
Like I love it. So that kind of sweet, caring, affectionate kind of energy that gets me every time.
No. Shout out to Switchblade. Absolutely a sweetheart. That Puff Spliffy though.
Oh yeah, he's a menace.
I almost called the pound. So you're going through TSA on your way to a leather weekend. You get pulled to the side by one of the agents because of the contents of your kink toy bag. Which of your kink toys or equipment are you most embarrassed for them to pull out and hold up?
Big Black Bertha. It's a 14-inch girthy piece of equipment that is an attachment to one of my machines. It's veiny goodness. And if they pull that out the bag, that's some questions I'm not comfortable answering, possibly, depending on what the guy looks like.
Offer a demonstration.
And, I mean, the machine is already here. I mean, so let's.
And you don't need the machine.
Just saying.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm fine with the manual, whatever works. Just let me go.
Shout out to Boy Forge, for whom Bertha is a starter. And who's traveling back from North Carolina as we speak. Safe travels to Boy Forge.
Yes, please, Forge. We love you.
So you are hosting your celebrity crush at your place for a meal. Who is it? And what would you prepare? For those of you who don't know, Reece cooks now. So who would it be and what would you prepare to impress them?
That's a great question. And to be very transparent, it's going to sound kind of weird. I don't know if I have a celebrity crush. Like, the only person that popped into my head, most people may not remember who this is, but Michael J. White.
Oh, Michael J. White?
Michael J. White, yes.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, he has been fine for decades. Like, forever fine. And is amazingly fine right now. So definitely him for sure. With Jason Momoa as a real, like, right below him, like minimally, because that man is fine too.
And what would you cook?
Of course, I would make something Southern. What was her name? On Way to His Hill, was it Gloria?
Yeah.
I would instantly like, I got a little ham, collard greens, potato salad, macaroni and cheese. I would definitely run it down just like that.
There better be
history. The way to a man's heart really is through his stomach.
There better be a pound cake. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. And I get the pound cake later. Can I say that? I don't know. I don't want to get banned. I'm saying.
No wrong with dropping a hint with your dessert. That's why I often smoke Fat Bottom Betty's.
It's a thing.
I'm saying, you are what you eat. So you are creating a commercial that promotes your personal brand. Hello, artists. What is your slogan to promote Reece Diamond?
That's interesting. That's gonna make me think. If I had to pick a slogan on the slide, real quick. Reece Diamond, a good man. He may not be your cup of tea because he's a cup of rum.
All right, come through, rum. I don't have my glasses on. What fictional character do you most resemble or what fictional character is most like you?
Fictional character most like me. Oddly enough, if I had to pick one, it would be Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Ah,
Like,
another pup in the house.
I'm telling you, like,
I
low
love
key,
Courage.
like I'll see some crazy, scary stuff, but somehow, some way, I figure it out. And I make sure that my people are good. Like, so yeah, I guess it'll be Courage.
But you know what? That is actually perfect for you because low key, you are the person who rides in to save the day and doesn't get the credit for it. No one but the person you save knows you saved them. So that is very, very apropos for you. Hey, Red Fox. And yes, Peg and Red Fox, Fat Bottom Betty's are great cigars. Today I'm smoking what may be my favorite cigar, maybe an Acid Cuba Cuba from Drew Estate. And I am drinking my new favorite scotch, Grainstone's 12-year. It is smoky beyond belief. Next question. If you could go back in time, what historical event would you most want to witness?
The resurrection.
Mm.
I would want to be there to see the stone. I know we'll get into it later, but
See the stone roll away?
I want to see it. So I can have a good, nasty Baptist Pentecostal fit right there at the stone, and then come back and be like, I told you. You know? That would be it.
I think if I picked a biblical moment, it would be Lazarus.
Oh yeah.
That's like, I also wouldn't mind being there when water was turned to wine, even though I'd be like, yo, scotch. Okay. So next question, and there are three more. To which Hogwarts house would you belong?
Okay, now I may get in trouble for this, and I've watched all the Harry Potter movies. I don't know much about the houses to make that kind of determination. If I had to pick one, I would assume it would be Slytherin, only because of the potions and spells element.
And because your sir would also be Slytherin.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. So see, protege got it. See,
Yeah,
well, ding, ding.
Slytherin. I mean, there's really no other question. Even though Bakari said, he would really be a Ravenclaw. And I said, okay.
Well, maybe he can school me on that later because I got nothing. I just know that there's some darker stuff over on that side that intrigues me. So I think I would probably go that way.
I think Bakari also claims Slytherin, even though he might be Griffin. He might be one of those annoying Gryffindors. Is there a fantasy that you haven't lived yet? So some kind of kinky fantasy that you haven't done yet. And if so, what is it?
Yes. And it's a perfect question for the time of year that we're in. I liken my fantasy almost unto Frankenstein when he was laying out on the table and there was all the lightning and the flashing and the cranks and all the things. So my fantasy is kind of to enact something very similar to that. Envision bondage with cranks where I can turn the crank and maneuver the arms and the legs as I would want them to, having complete control, sensory deprivation, electro with a nasty toy scene. But I would want there to still be that thunder lightning element. Like I would want that kind of it's alive kind of a vibe. Yeah.
You're not on Twitter, right? Are you? We have to connect because I have some videos that I need to send you.
I would gladly watch
That, oh my God, I just saw a video. A guy was suspended. He was being milked. At the same time, he was tied up to a F machine. He was in with a F machine, and they had nipple pumps going at the same time. He's completely enclosed in latex.
That sounds beautiful.
And his hands are in those, the
Like
things I have that go over your hand and make your hands mitts.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also restrained hands and feet.
Yep.
Everything you just described is in that scene. I was like, that's what I want for Christmas. So yeah, Ogun, we know that is, yes, that's Ogun's.
And if you ever want to send Reece Diamond some beautiful clips of anything mentioned above, feel free to inbox me on X at Apollo Onyx. I accept all DMs of beautiful videos and pictures. I appreciate it, and thank you in advance.
Artist, send me a request at SteeleToe, and I will shoot you the video. Oh, fisting. Come on, Peg. Peg, you trying to be my favorite. Talk about cigars and all this stuff. Let me find out, Peg. And the last of the 20 questions for speed dating, are you single or taken? And if you're single, are you looking?
I am single, and I am single and open to the possibility. I won't say I'm actively looking, but I will, however, say that if you do see me out and I have RBF, come say hello to me.
With a Long Island iced tea.
With a Long Island iced tea. That helps for sure. But I am actually a pretty pleasant person to speak to, I think, in my personal, most humble opinion. So I am single and open to chat.
There you go. Okay. So now we're going into rapid fire questions. There are 10. First thing that pops in your mind, that's the answer. You are not, I'm not going to allow you to sit and think.
Oh God. Okay.
Eggs, scrambled or poached?
Scrambled.
Which is worse, a hangnail or a splinter?
Splinter.
Do you prefer to cook at home or get delivery?
At home.
What's worse, puke or diarrhea?
Puke.
How do you pronounce it? Aunts or ants?
Aunt.
Love or basketball?
Love.
Okay. Kim Cattrall or Sarah Jessica Parker?
Kim Cattrall.
The better Prince band, the Revolution or the New Power Generation?
Oh, the Revolution.
Better couple, Kyle and Max or Overton and Sinclair?
Overton and Sinclair.
And who makes the best jokes in the world? Your sir or SteeleToe the Bootblack?
I would say my sir.
There you go. And that is correct. And I'm glad that you acknowledged that. So that was speed dating with Reece Diamond.
Cool.
Now you know about him. You know what he likes. You know who he is. You know his Twitter. Hit him up. So, Reece, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. Because what we're talking about today in this Dynamics of Dynamics conversation, the real focus is, can you be in a dynamic with the community? Hey, Ironheart. Can you be in a dynamic with the community? But first, we want to learn a little bit about your journey and how you ended up at this point in your journey. So let's talk about a little bit about your name is Reece Diamond. What is the significance of that name?
Sure. So let's talk about Reece really quick. So growing up, I always had a nickname. There was always a nickname attached to me. Growing up, my nickname was Diamond. I got that from my Aunt Kim. When I was, long story short, when I was born and they found out I had a disability, and my mother didn't know prior to birth that I had a disability. So it was a complete shock to her. First time mom, didn't know what was going on. It was naturally overwhelmed and was confiding in her best friend, my Aunt Kim. And my aunt said, Patty, don't worry about it. He's just a diamond in the rough. And ever since then, the name stuck. So much so to where people did not know that was not my actual government name. Everyone assumed that Diamond was my government name, and it is not. And then I went to middle school, and I became Mo. That was just the nickname that they gave me in middle school. And it traveled on to high school, and I never actually felt as though I had a name that I had for myself that was mine. It was always a name that was given to me by somebody else that everybody else just picked up and used. So when I moved to Philly, they asked me what my name was, and I told them my name was Reece. It was the name that connected closest to my biological, but my government name. And it was a name that I selected for me. I felt like that I had autonomy over this, and this was who I am. I'm Reece. And that's where the Reece came from. But believe it or not, the last name Diamond didn't come from my childhood nickname. It came from my first gay mother. It came from a beautiful drag queen by the name of Anya Diamond, who I came across on a whim. 19-year-old, the bartender had a crush on me, so he let me into the club. And I heard Dorinda Clark Cole singing Nobody Did This But God, and had a whole anxiety attack because the church boy in me was offended. After her number, she came downstairs, introduced herself to me, and was like, "You're my son now." And I became a Diamond, and the rest is history. So Reece Diamond was born in Philadelphia, but it was a picking of a name that I felt for myself, and a last name that I hold dear by someone that I love.
Okay. And the nickname Mo, not because of homo, but also because of government name.
Right.
Okay. Just to clarify that for the audience. I don't want them to have the impression that at 12 they were like, "This is a flaming Mo." So as you moved into your interest in leather and kink, who guided that journey? Like who did you turn to guide your journey?
Amazing question. So I thank God for my dads. Reggie and Jamal out of Atlanta, Firestarter and Oracle Onyx, founders of Onyx Southeast. I was a college freshman, really looking for support. I didn't know what it meant to be Black and queer, and healthy and sane. All I knew was what you saw on TV and the negative connotations that, my family had. And so I went on the internet and just started looking up what it meant to be Black and gay, Black and queer. And I came across the ballroom scene. And I was like, oh, okay. Had no desire to walk balls. That wasn't my thing, but I wanted that sense of community that came with what I thought that was. And long story short, reached out to a house, got a response from one of the elders, and one of the elders, his name is Jamal. And I became his son, and it was ballroom related at first. And then he started to tell me about this leather scene that he was in. And to be very transparent, it was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. And the church boy in me was extremely offended. I was confused because I was like, well, why would you want to be in such delusion? That's why God put you in my path, so I can help bring you out of this delusion. Because clearly, people aren't supposed to be getting, hot candle wax poured on them. That's the devil. Clearly, you're not supposed to be getting hit with whips and floggers, and this is the enemy. He has sent me in your life to help you come out of this horrible situation that you're in. And I'm so honored that God has blessed me to help you, sir, bring you out of this stuff. And he sat back and just chuckled and said, okay, baby, what are you doing next weekend? I'll be in DC. Meet me in DC at this place called the Green Lantern. Okay, anything for you, Dad. And so I get there, and of course he doesn't tell me what this is. And I'm surrounded by big, burly men in chaps and harnesses. And I instantly go, oh my God, I'm going to hell for real now. It's official. It's going down. It's happening for me. Because he has me in this den of iniquity with all this evil and these horribly deranged people. What am I going to do? And he invited me upstairs to the dance floor. And sir, it was the most liberating space I had ever been in my life, because no one cared. Like, no one cared what you looked like. No one cared where you came from. No one had, it wasn't a barrage of questions. It was literally any and every body type, and they were twirling and clapping, and it was amazing. And he said, now what's evil about this? And it changed my perspective on the entire scene, because he allowed me to witness what the energy of that space was. And so I was like, yeah, I can be a part of this community, but I never thought I would actually be an active kinkster. That wasn't even the thing. I can, and so as you know, sir, you know, I per Uncle Call, my nickname is Lurk. I enjoy the energy of the other kinky spaces so much so I will stand in the corner and watch them for hours and not, participate. And through the tutelage of Sir SteeleToe and his wonderful recommendations for me, has shifted. But to answer the question, that was my intro into leather. It was my dad shaking me out of what I thought I knew, introducing me to a community that I did not know but have prejudged, faced me with a reality that I did not know I needed, but needed, and never left. And that is family for me. So my dad, Jamal, my dad, Reggie, they are my introduction into the scene and why I'm here.
Shout out to Jamal and Reggie. Two amazing humans that I have had the privilege to also know and could not. I mean, it's a blessing to have been put in their path. And I love that no direct confrontation. It's like, oh, okay. You think you know some things. I'm going to expose you to some things so you can question what you know. Love that. They're amazing. They are amazing.
They are amazing.
So you have been very focused on in Western New York, specifically Rochester, but not just Rochester. You have been doing work in the communities of color, people of color, but also people of color and kink, and doing some real work to improve the existence of those people in that area. So talk a little bit about your organizations, Diamond Strength Entertainment and Own Your Kink.
So Diamond Strength Entertainment is an organization that I started, or a company that I started, to bring to Western New York, more so to Rochester, but yes, to Western to New York, a different type of experience as it relates to entertainment for the community of color. I often say we deserve, and I get this from Gatekeeper Adrian, someone that I highly respect from Rochester, and they always said that you deserve all the things. You deserve the best. You can have the best. You deserve all the things. And I took that to heart, and I wanted to make sure I brought the best to Rochester so they can see something different than what we had to offer at a local level. So I would always bring some amazing title holders. I would bring some well-known entertainers and dancers. I always try to bring high quality entertainment to the city because I believe that the city deserves it. But Own Your Kink is something that it's a little different for me. The community of color overall, but definitely in Rochester, still struggles with the demonizing of BDSM, of kink, and truly of human sensuality and sexuality across the board. We really remain in a place of shame concerning that. And it's something that I really felt as though it's something that I was called. I mean, it sounds kind of weird, called to help shift because it helped shift for me. And I was always taught that once enlightenment and knowledge was given to you, it's your job to gift that to others. It's not for you to hold and to allow just to stay within yourself. It's now your responsibility to share the knowledge that you have and to help bring others into enlightenment and others out of mental bondage, emotional bondage, spiritual bondage, and to really be conduits of light and conduits of full embetterment. And so that's where Own Your Kink came from, where that was birthed out of. That you don't have to be ashamed of your body and how you use your body and what brings your body pleasure and the things you enjoy doing with other people's bodies. The safest thing to do would be connected to this community. We teach you how to be safe, sane, consensual. We teach you how to have negotiations. We teach you how to have difficult conversations, how to maneuver through difficult experiences, how to avoid unsafe moments. Like, connected to this community really is the wellness that people are looking for. But because of demonizing of the body, demonizing of the orientations and the sexualities, our communities are boxed, and we cause more harm than good. And so Own Your Kink is my best attempt at showing my community that, one, they deserve nothing but the best. Two, they are great and amazing right now, and have the full potential to utilize their bodies to their greatest potential. And however that may look for you, it's my honor to help lead you down that path. One waters, one gathers, but it's greatness that gets the growth and the harvest. And I may not have the answer for everything, but I at least want to be that introduction to show you that you're worthy, you're able, and there is a community here for you that won't do you filthy, that doesn't think you're a sinful person, that doesn't think that you're down and out, that doesn't think that what you're doing is dirty. It is something that you shouldn't be doing. I want to be that conduit, which is why Own Your Kink was born. I started doing this in 2018. I want to say I had the first Own Your Kink, and the response has always been great from communities of color and our allies. I've built some amazing relationships and connections from this in Western New York and abroad. So I'm grateful for the opportunity, but it's still a lot of work to be done. But that's why I started to at least Own Your Kink and Diamond Strength in this area.
Yeah, and it's been you've done some amazing things, and created some amazing partnerships that the house has now become a part of, and actually our connection was really formed around the work you were doing in those communities. That's how we really got to know each other on a personal level. And so that's been amazing. How has your participation in organizations that you're a part of, Onyx, the House of Steel, how has that contributed to your ability to help with your mission of just helping people to experience their own personal freedom to be who they are and to enjoy, different aspects of their life in kink?
So with Onyx showed me what was possible. Everything I did not believe existed in the BDSM community, I was shown in Onyx that absolutely that exists. There's clergy here. There are teachers here. There are lawyers here.
Mm-hmm.
There are professional, sane, well-to-do, educated, good brothers that are kinky and they're okay. It exists.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, Onyx was one of my first examples that not only is it okay for me to be who I am, I'm not setting precedents.
Mm-hmm.
There are people here that have walked this walk before you, and they're here to help walk you through this next phase of your journey in your life. And so I'm grateful for Onyx for them being my introduction and being my example as to what was possible.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think that I could be kinky and spiritually well at the same time. Members of Onyx showed me that I could. I did not think I could be kinky and differently abled. As a member of Onyx, it allowed me access to spaces and rooms where I saw that absolutely you could.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful to them for sure for that. The House of Steel taught me a good Leatherman is a well person, period, across the board. Not just in kink, not just in fet, but mind, body, soul. And so it taught me how to use my foundational teachings, build on them, perfect them, and then present them to the community in a way that is effective, that causes change in the positive, that utilizes your best gifts and then allows those gifts to be presented in their best way to get the most result. The family that I get here, I didn't know was possible for a long time. So it gave me hope that though I may not be a physical, biological father, I look forward to the opportunity because of my dads, because of Onyx, because of you, because of my brothers in the house, that with the next generation coming up in leather and kink and fet, I can gift them the skills and the character that was given to me, that was built in me and really pushed and harnessed, buffed with you sometimes, I look forward to that, but that's, I hope I answered that well.
You amazing answer. As you were talking, my brain goes back to 100 conversations and 100 actions that have happened, and like I'm so you have my head spinning. If I had emotions, I would be emotional. Thinking about it right now, and as a result of the work that you've done, you've had the opportunity to be recognized in your own community for a lot of the work that you've done and the impact that you've had. I love the fact that you've had those opportunities, because you don't it's rare that you get your flowers while you can appreciate them. You know, everyone waits until someone is gone, either out of the community or, you know, something like that, to say, oh my goodness, you made a real difference. Let talk a little bit about some of the ways that you were recognized this year. This is me being a proud sir moment, and putting stuff up on the refrigerator. So
That's hilarious.
so share a little bit about that.
Sure, it's an honor, and I'm humbled. I did receive a proclamation from the city, from the city of Rochester, New York, thanking me for my work within the LGBTQ community of color with Diamond Strength Entertainment. I also received a community award, a community leader award with the city of Rochester and our local city hall for contributions to the community with the LGBTQ plus community. I was a nominee for the Daisy Award, which shows forth excellent nursing. I was a student then, but excellence and outstanding service in that arena as well. So that's what I got so far, and I'm humbled. It's hard for me to talk about that because I'm like, I'm just helping. I just want to help. But I'm grateful to be seen, and it gives me the push to really keep wanting to work. Not that they're giving me awards, but that I'm doing something that's causing a positive change in my area. That brings me joy.
And you really are. I mean, being with you in Rochester at these events that we've been doing because of partnerships you built in Lockport, having conversations with individuals who share with me like the impact that you've had on their life individually. All of that stuff is so important, so critical. I love to see it. I'm so proud of you. You were also recognized at the minor league teams game,
yes,
as one of the LGBTQ leaders for Rochester.
Yes, at the Rochester Red Wings.
Yeah. Yes. I was going to say Red Bird, so I would have messed that up.
Yes, the Red Wings, Rochester Red Wings. Myself and some other amazing leaders of color within the community were recognized by the city. I don't want to call names, but everyone's doing some amazing work, uplifting and upbuilding our community. So I'm honored to be a part of that group of people.
Love that. Also, if anyone has questions, we're about 10 minutes from being done. If you have questions for Reece, you can drop them in the chat and we'll take those at the end. But really quickly, I want to talk a little bit about being in service to the community, because you are a sub to me, but you are not a sub in mentality or in any other way. You are a dominant. Even in the house, when we were talking about what it would look like for you to be a part of the house and in service to me, it was really a focus on helping you to be as impactful as you could be as a leader in the community. And anyone who doesn't know what the house is about, the house is focused on, one of the tenets of the house is leadership and service, is probably the most important thing that we focus on, that and safe spaces, of the 6 tenets of the house that are represented by Adinkra symbols on our crest. You can go to the house page if you are interested in learning more about that, or you can reach out to me or any member of the house and get more information about that. But I want to talk a little bit about being a dom to the community and what that kind of looks like. Last weekend, Daddy Sal, who is the leader of the New Jersey Leather family, shout out to the New Jersey Leather family and Daddy Sal, He had us there, and the House of Steel there, and the infamous Boys of Leather, which is a new leather club for leather boys. There used to be a New Jersey Boys of Leather club that doesn't exist anymore, and now they're doing amazing work with boys. And Bobby, who is a former New Jersey Leather. I don't want to mistake the year, but he was talking about how he is a boy, but he's not in service to a single dom. He considers him a boy that is in service to the community. And when he said that, he just kind of dropped that and kept the conversation moving. But that's been something that's been on my mind ever since. And so I've been thinking about what does it mean to be in service to the community? And as a dom, who also has a real community focus, I started thinking, I like to consider myself a dom for the community, like, and someone who is there for our community. And so I want to talk about that just a little bit. How have you found, and I know that you don't always, I'm always pointing out to you that you are a dom to these people. You are a leader to these people and things. You don't want to always internalize that. But there is a real need and a real sense of leading in a community, or providing resources for people in the community, even if it's just advice, somebody to talk to, somebody to confide in. How have you found that fulfilling?
I remember how it felt when I felt ugly, undeserving, unworthy, unseen, unheard, unappreciated. Nothing I was doing was right. Everything I was doing was sinful and wrong. I was just this horrible person. I remember how I felt. And I remember when I brought all that to someone and they had capacity to hold that, shake off what needed to be shaken off, rebuke what needed to be rebuked, love what needed to be loved, and see enough in me to bring me up and out.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, I feel almost a charge to do the same for my community, because I remember how it felt when I was down and low, but I also remember how liberating it was when the truth came, and how freeing it was for me, and how much I appreciated the person who took the time to love the ignorance out of me. And so for me, it becomes almost, in order to lead, you must first learn to serve. And for me, this is service not necessarily solely to the community, but this is service by way of ancestral veneration. Like, this is what my fathers and former elders and leaders instilled in me, not just for me to hold, but for me to continue on. So as a community dom, a community serve, for me, it's, if life took you this way and gave you this amount of knowledge, understanding, and compassion, to really do the work and really work with those in your community where they are, as they are, gracious enough to see where they are and know how to maneuver with them and really bring the best out of them. What I get out of that is the satisfaction of knowing that I'm doing what my elders taught us to. I'm lifting up my people, because it's very hard to have a conversation about kink and not end up talking somehow about some kind of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Something's going to come up in some conversation where healing needs to take place, whether it's healing in the body, healing in the soul, healing in the mind, healing in the emotion, healing in the psyche, healing in the perspective. And a good sir, a good ma'am, a good leader should have the wherewithal to know how to have those kind of conversations, and know that while having those conversations, that'll help you have different other conversations, whether they're play related, kink related, fet related. But there's another level of care connected to community service as a dom, that you become the safe space.
Mm-hmm.
Everywhere you are is the safe space.
Mm-hmm.
And when community sees that and trusts that, you kind of take lead by default because the people just start to follow. I didn't intend on becoming a community dom or any of that stuff. I just wanted to bring my people knowledge and let them know that they were worthy. But when you start doing that, people will glean from what you give them, but they'll also get a sense of loyalty to you.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know what? He's done the work, and has shown us not only has he done the work, he's willing to get in the trenches and work with us too, to bring us up, and to show us that we can do this in a better way. So that's, I guess, my core passion behind why I operate the way I do in the city. I may not have boys of my own. I may not have official submissives, but I'm the person that they'll text at 4 o'clock in the morning saying, "Hey, I saw this clip about rope. I mean, it looks kind of cool. What is rope? Like, how does that work?" Or, "Hey, I remember when we were at Kink University and you guys were talking about electro. Like, what is that electro stuff?" Or, "Hey, me and my wife went to a class and you guys were talking about impact and we went home and tried some stuff and we had a great time." Like, that to me is what makes me want to continue this. That's what I get from that. Like, seeing people learn and grow and become better individuals overall, not just in kink, but just as people in general. That's everything to me.
And you touched on a couple things that are also tenets of the house. One of our Adinkra symbols, Neoseo Pende, is leadership and service based on a Yoruba proverb. He who actually no, it's a Akan proverb. He who wants to lead must first learn to serve. And absolutely Eben, another one of ours, which is safe space, which is also something that's incredibly important and hard for many people in our communities to find. That safe space where they can learn and grow and be themselves. And I think that is, those are two things that you have exemplified in the Rochester area, along with the whole in constant concept of being a community that is, the community is only as strong as its weakest link, and working to make those people stronger. So thank you so much for sharing all that. Hello, Michael Ann. Michael Ann is joining us today. I had the honor of meeting Michael Ann on a judging panel at IMSL and International Miss Bootblack. Michael Ann is a former International Miss Bootblack who continues to lead our communities and also just to model what it is to be a part of our community in remarkable ways. I fell in love with Michael Ann sitting next to her. I got in trouble with Michael Ann sitting next to her. And it's been a joy to know her. And I love that she's with us today. So much love to you, Michael Ann. I do see one question from Michael Ann in the chat, but then there was another question from Peg that I also want to add in, and I'm going to add Boyogun to the stage in case I missed any other questions. But Michael Ann's question was, have you ever mentored a female?
I have not. And it's not because of apprehension. I just haven't been presented with the opportunity yet. Um, One of the things that I won't say that I've learned that was solidified and really reinforced in me is a concept that our sir really pushes in the House of Steel, which is kink has no gender. That is something that I strongly believe. That's something that I am not opposed to in any way, shape, or form. It's something I would absolutely welcome.
I would challenge you that you have, and it's Alex, who also, hi, Alex, love you immensely. Um, but yes, that is all very true. Kink has no gender, and it's absolutely um, important that we um, work to to help people understand their own freedoms and their own power, regardless of their gender, of their um, background, of their interests. Um, there is room for everyone, and the more people, and that we can, there are so many things that we can learn from so many different people that we really need to be open to all of that. Even regardless of their sexual orientation. There are many heterosexual kinksters, fetishists, leather people who also can bring a lot to the stage. And we've had an opportunity to work with many of those groups um, because of your connections in Rochester. And Peg was interested in um, your activities. How can people follow the things that you're doing, um, especially in the Western New York community? How can people stay informed about that?
So I am a Facebook addict. I will admit that openly. Me and Facebook go back a long time. So if you want to stay in contact with me, the best way to do that would be through Facebook. And that is through Reece Diamond, Reece Diamond, Diamond. Feel free to reach out to me. If I don't respond, send me a message saying, hey, I watched the fireside chat with you and your sir, and I'm connecting. I will gladly respond accordingly for sure. I would love to hear from you.
Okay, great. And Reese's name is now visible now that I removed the flame. So feel free to hit him up there. You can also hit me up on Facebook as SteeleToe Scrivener, Scrivener, on Facebook. But please follow the House of Steel if you want to know what we are doing or participate in any of our future classes. I want to highlight the next classes that are coming up. Boy Ogun. Well, first, Boy Ogun, do we have any more questions that I have that I missed in the chat?
So yes, sir. We have one final question from Peg, and Peg asks Reece, single and looking for what exactly?
Ooh, that's good. I'm going to answer this as true to myself as I can. And I liken it into the relationship that my aunts would have in the 90s, where they didn't really have a boyfriend, they had a little friend. This is my little friend, Mr. Charlie. I would want a little friend. Someone I could enjoy their energy and enjoy their time. As you can tell, I am a chimney. So have a good smoke, a good drink, a good eat, however you take that, a good movie, a good everything. Someone I can enjoy their time. So I'm looking for a little friend. So that's what I would be looking for.
All right.
But I do want to, before I disconnect, I do want to bring something out really quick. We talked about women, but I also want to say that we also affirm those who are non-binary,
Mhm.
those who identify as trans. We affirm you completely. I affirm you. I'm a firm believer in speaking that out loudly. So not only does kink have no gender, it has no orientation. You are welcome to speak to me or any of my family in any way, shape, or form about anything kink, BDSM, FET related. There is no shame, no judgment. We love you as you are. So I just want to throw that out there before I end my spot.
Thank you. And coming up on November 3rd at 1 o'clock, so time change for November 3rd, Boy Ogun will be leading us in a presentation. Boy Ogun, tell us a little bit about that presentation coming up.
Yes, sir. So the class that we're going to be having on November the 3rd is called Playing by the Rules, Legal Considerations in Leather. And we're going to be talking about both the criminal and civil context of law and how it impacts gangsters and leather people. So we're going to talk about all things criminal and civil rights, as well as anything related to any civil lawsuits. So it's going to be a very interesting discussion, and I hope that you definitely all come and enjoy it. And you might learn quite a bit too. So definitely come and stop by.
Excellent. Also, on the 10th, Carl and I will be launching our first of the Can We Chat series. As I mentioned, we will be having casual conversations about life and leather. And so we'll be talking about things that are happening in the world and kind of look at it from a leather perspective. So feel free to join us for that. And we'd love to have you. All of the classes and fireside chats that the house has done, you can access them on our Facebook page, The House of Steel. And you can look back there. You'll find the class that we did with Reece and a couple other people talking about being a member of being in kink, fetish, BDSM, leather with different levels of ability. And also Boy Ogun's class that he did on protecting your chosen family, about some of the things that you can do to ensure that your chosen family is protected and can be a very active part of your life moving forward, because there are certainly some legal considerations to take into play and to make sure that your bio family doesn't have powers over the people who are actively involved in your day-to-day life. Other classes from the house are being added constantly, so please check back with the House of Steel events, and you'll see that more classes are coming up, including a class on the history of pups coming up, and additional Dynamics of Dynamics classes with me and Reece. And so please join us. If you want to be with the House of Steel and see us in person, a number of us will be attending Santa Saturday in New Hope, Pennsylvania, which is an amazing event done by the Bucks MC. This is their 51st annual Santa Saturday. They raise tens of thousands of dollars every year for organizations that support our community. So it's a wonderful event. The house is always happy to participate. I will be there. I'm the Bootblack coordinator for the event. I'm participating in a panel on different types of family structures in the kink fetish leather BDSM community. And the house is hosting the Cigar Social on Saturday night. So that is in New Hope, Pennsylvania. Please hit us up on the house page If you have any questions about that event and how to attend, it is an amazing event. And that is on Friday, November 21st. I'm sorry, 29th, which is Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And then that Saturday, November 30th, is the fundraising portion of that event. But it's going to be a wonderful event. It is every year. They've moved from Asbury Park this year to New Hope, Pennsylvania, and they're doing a hotel takeover, and I'm excited. The hotel is great. We were there in September for the Keystone Leather Contest, which was also amazing. And we're looking forward to that. So that's where you can see us in person next. But thank you all for joining us for this fireside chat. And we look forward to you joining us for more in the future. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day. Until next time. Bye-bye.